reports outside his country.
My sister said, Felicia, we're getting bombed right now. We need to run to shelter.
I am not a Ukrainian by ethnicity, but I am by marriage, and I have lived here for 5 years. You cannot understand the situation in Ukraine without understanding the Ukrainian people and the Ukrainian mindset. It's our home, and we really don't want to leave. You see, I have my fish tank here. What's going to happen to the fish?
Kind of mixed feelings going back over the border, because on one hand I'm excited to go back to Ukraine. I love Ukraine, but it's also like very cold, sort of numb anxiety or something.
Conference Ivano-Frankivsk. Are you a resident? Yeah. Jackie, let's go.
So it feels fantastic to be finally back in Ukraine. The woman on the border control knew about the conference. We didn't even tell her. She just said, "You're going to a conference?" We said, "Yeah." And in Ivano-Frankivsk, we said, "Yeah." So it appears that the border patrol is aware that this conference is happening as well.
The Ukrainian Renaissance Conference was the first pro-liberty event to take place in Ukraine since the war started.
Our very good friend Vít Samek approached me at our conference in Prague with this idea to organize conference inside of Ukraine. I was like, what?
Since the May of 2022 we are going directly to the Ukraine, and we are helping in First Voluntary Surgical Hospital.
Students, entrepreneurs, activists and coordinators from all over Europe gathered to discuss the future of Ukraine.
We delivered over $1 million of aid to Ukraine, so that we have some intuition of the scope of what we are talking about.
The war and full-scale invasion changed my life drastically, and I felt that I have to feed my small family now and contribute to the dramatic dynamics of the front line. And we started with donating 20% of our revenue.
One of the main challenges is actually, surviving. At any moment in time, you can be, your house can be attacked by the Russian Federation, and your life just ends right there.
It's my friend Tanya. She was living in Kiev before the war, but Kiev was one of the first targets of Russian bombing, so she needed to get out very, very quickly. So we went to pick up her on the Slovakian borders, and I offered her to stay at my place.
And the amount of the support was really enormous, and these are not just big words, but actions.
This conference is aimed to lead him through the way that we can rebuild this country in future. And by rebuilding, we mean not rebuilding the same country we had and building a better one.
We promised that we would last longer than Putin, and however long that may take, that's what we'll do.
Дуже дякую. До побачення. What I want to try and do is frame the work that the students and Students for Liberty and Ukrainian Students for Freedom are doing as part of a historical narrative that connects back to the civil rights movement, that connects back to kind of every youthful resistance throughout history. This is Sophie Scholl and her brother and her friend, and they were members of the White Rose Society. Have you heard of the White Rose Society? They were found giving out these leaflets in campus and reported to the Gestapo. Here's some of the words that she wrote in the pamphlets. One person enlightening the next, always reflecting and never resting until every last person is convinced of the dire necessity of fighting against this system. And when you have decided, then act. When Sophie was leaving the house that day and she said goodbye to her mother said, "I'll never see you walking through this door again." And she said, "Mother, it's a splendid sunny day." there is some good in this world and that it is worth fighting for. So, Czech Students for Liberty, European Students for Liberty, дуже дякую. Дуже дякую.
Liberty will never be silenced. We will never refrain, even in the face of tyranny.